So, I want to point something out. This is what happened to Pirate Software. He's still making money, is what happened. Same with James Charles, who, by all accounts, had something bad happen, which I'll talk about later. And then Cody Ko, who still is producing things on his second channel and not his main channel, because he knows if he produced it on his main channel, people would tear him apart. Same with Boogie, who's still making content, averaging about 10,000 views a video, which isn't horrifying, and he still streams, and he just had an engagement at Disneyland. Nothing happened to him. Nothing ever happens if you cancel somebody. I want to stop pretending.
Let's talk about flipping drama. Because sometimes it's just that easy. Just survive and you continue on where you left off. Nothing really happened because cancel culture is weak as fuck. It tries to cancel everyone with just different opinions, bro. They're too angsty. They're too quick to judge a person on just a few little things. I mean, I literally created deadmau5 drama to stack dirt, to see how much dirt I can stack on a person to the point where it's like truly canceled. If you ask me if H3 was canceled, I would say yes. And there's no recovery from this one. Alright? If you would ask if Anna was canceled, I would say yes. She's gonna be fine. She will survive the cancellation for a certain amount of time, basically. And she did it to herself. Good old school suicides version of cancellation. Worst YouTuber ever, dude. What? Tom really wants to be cancelled, I guess. What the fuck was that? Did Gamer from Mars got cancelled? Well, he just touched porn stars, which is icky. And he is not a likable person in general. He's just an essay kind of person. With a little bit of a, hint flavor of YouTube culture. You might like that. He was not cancelled. Alright? You need 3 strikes to be cancelled. You need 4 strikes to be irredeemably cancelled. You need good chunk of drama, and it has to be all documented properly. I'm not doing the best job, but I'm just showing what's supposed to be done if we're truly there to cancel someone, right? There still has to be an arbiter of cancellation, by the way. No one particular person is a go-to, so people who get cancelled, they don't have to watch a particular video. They don't have to trust the drama channels. It's easy for them to just dismiss everything and move on, because they have no reasonable way to start apologizing to something or addressing something, because they're not responding to anything in particular without arbiter being elected almost, We literally have to elect someone on YouTube to be able to truly cancel other people. That's where the hell breaks loose, my friends. Welcome to election year at this point. I did my job, I submitted my efforts to be elected for arbiter of cancellation. Think about it, alright? Just think about it. I live in cancellation. I live in poverty, basically. I live surrounded by absolute idiots. I don't want to be cancelled just because I was born. That fucking sucks. The walls that I had that just gave me isolation, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. Now they're just torturing me. That was not enough. The walls who gave me isolation wanted something more. Now I even have to fucking lose a few minutes of sleep just because walls fucking talk to me at this point. It's just neighbors being noisy, okay, but they wake me up, they piss me off. And it's like, that's how it feels like to actually be cancelled. I know it's fucking very well, and there's nothing you can do, even if you don't like me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? People are not reasonable, they just want to cancel whatever, right? Whenever they feel like it. There's an urge of feelings, They see some wrongdoings. They don't evaluate. They don't put things on the scales if it's like worth canceling someone. They're not fucking rational people whatsoever. The bad has to outweigh the good. That's the fucking point. People have to be more careful. And this is literally what I'm talking about. Drama flip is where the good outweighs the bad, and you just simply point it out. If people despise that, well, you'll do it just 3 months later. If people still despise that, you're still gonna do it 3 days later. 3 months later. Because people still care, people still are very defensive about the topic, and it's like, good. You can't defend yourself from awareness, you're just gonna grow awareness, you want it or not. And the longer it takes for you to admit that you were wrong, at just calculating this equation, because that's what it takes, right? The good has to be outweighed by the bad. You technically don't even want to imprison people who are just generally good. You don't want to send them to prison. At least you don't want to keep them in prison for a long time. Like, this is not okay. The system must recognize good and bad people. Which is why good people try to unite and escape the system, because the system doesn't care as much to calculate any of this. Alright, the system is going to make mistakes. You got to stay away from people who are not fair. Now the question is, how is this max stats episode? What the fuck it has to do with max stats? Well, let me tell you something. When you are hit with pain, this is the ultimate signal that you are better off flipping it. Alright? And the most notorious max stats behavior of all time, the most notorious self-improvement tactic, if you're fat, and it's gonna cause you pain, by the way, it's gonna cause you pain. Essentially, it's gonna disable you in some kind of way, right? If you're fat and you felt pain, it's a signal for you to flip the entire script, and you have to fight against this enemy at this point. You have to fight back. It's over. You have reached the point of pain. So might as well reach the point of pain again. See, that's the thing. But you can reach the good kind of pain, right? That's what it is. You reached the bad pain. Now you are incentivized to reach the good pain. You are incentivized to work very hard until you are pained by the other thing, by too much exercise. You have done the not enough exercise thing. Now you have to do the opposite, because clearly you've reached your limits, basically. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else you can do. You have to bounce. That's what flipping drama is. You have to learn from this interaction with pain given to you by your body, and you have to bounce immediately. You know? The funny thing is, there's nothing more clear in life. There's no better principle in life than this. This is the most obvious one that you should have known by now, by the way. You should have known by now. Drama flip is actually like essential principle. Pain exists, so you do it exactly how it's fucking presented to you right now. Does that mean you're gonna bounce? Kind of. The moment you feel good pain overwhelming you, you can relax again. You can normalize. This is drama. This whole thing is drama. Drama flipping is still drama, okay? You're still dealing with drama, basically. In the sense that you're still trying to get a good deal, trying to get a good grip. But see, the funny thing is, like, the moment you feel bad pain, you build resilience to pain. So it doesn't matter what kind of pain it is, just flip the bad into good. That's what gets flipped, basically, right? You will no longer care, now that you're here, you will no longer care if the opposite causes you pain, because you kind of know you can't have both at the same time, right? So the pain that comes to me personally that I have to deal with is with teeth, all right? And I have new revelations for you guys of how to deal with this shit, all right? So in America, most people remove wisdom teeth. It's actually not recommended, but you will be signing up for a real battle, basically. A true battlefield where you might lose some teeth. Just by not removing these, you're signing up for something crazy. And that crazy thing, I also call body collapse. All right? Body over time just simply collapses in every single way. Your eyesight gets worse. Every muscle can atrophy. You simply have to feed your body constantly because it's always collapsing. It's always demanding energy. But every single piece of your body, every single muscle also desires to be used, basically, to be useful. Your body's basically in a constant evolution mode, but at the same time, the most basic evolution is to collapse, is to do less, to use less energy, basically, to shrink. That's basically the sleep modes when I introduce this thing, right? That's the sleep mode. Your body wants to collapse and shrink. Exercise is definitely the opposite of that. You will grow when you do exercise. But it's not just this part of the body. You can, in fact, exercise your mouth, and that's what will stop destroying your teeth. It's not brushing your teeth that will save you, but exercising your teeth. Now, there is one thing I will recommend, and it's to fight back against this thing because we haven't invented anything special here, okay? This is not a new invention. We just extended laziness. We just allow lazy people to survive longer, all right? That's basically what, like, keeps the human lifespan elongated, basically. From, like, 60 years of age people were dying, now it's like 80 years of age on average or whatever, right? It keeps lengthening, but it's just like we saving lazy people. That's what we're doing here. This will not do exercise for us, okay? This will not save our teeth in any way. Just keeping things clean is not exactly the ultimate solution, but you still need to clean your teeth. So let me pull something that I found that AI approved, by the way. Basically, spicy soup is the best mouthwash. It also checks boxes of cheap, plentiful, natural, tastes good, doesn't spoil, effortless. I still had problems with milk, salt, oil as combination, especially when I substituted milk for anything else, or if milk got a little bit spoiled. To me, this combination doesn't feel like the best drink, but spicy soup is undoubtedly the drink, or a drink, while it's doing all the other things. It checks all the other boxes. So I'm talking about spicy soup, my friends. I can buy relatively spicy soup in a can, and it's now my mouthwash. I discovered that I finally have mouthwash that actually ticks a lot more boxes than just some bullshit bottle of Listerine, whatever the fuck that is. All right? I found something way better. All right? What boxes am I trying to tick? First of all, it has to be a liquid. All right? Because that is actually how you clean your teeth. Why would you clean your teeth in any other way besides a liquid? Why are you trying to brush your teeth? Like, are you kidding me? you're just gonna damage it by brushing. Of course, it's gonna have to be a liquid. Of course, mouthwash is the better idea than physically scraping your teeth. I mean, sure, bacteria is not gonna destroy your teeth, but you will, you know? You will get rid of bacteria and parts of your teeth by just scraping it off. You'll definitely make them weaker. Your teeth are constantly in repair mode, and scraping your teeth is gonna scrape all your attempts to repair the teeth in the first place, right? Don't clean it with your toothbrush, is my advice. You don't have to listen to it. You can be on a different camp entirely. But you will never know until you compare the two methods, right? So you should at least try the spicy soup, see how it feels like, and maybe it's just big enough empowerment to where, like, that's good enough. Just, it makes you feel good, it's good enough if it does that. Because it doesn't even matter how many teeth you lose. What matters is that you can at least perform the function of chewing, and it doesn't bother you too much. You can eat your favorite foods, and that's it. It doesn't even matter how many teeth you lose. I would say toothbrushes makes things even more painful when you have a cavity. Shoving a toothbrush in that area, or just even having a tool that you shove into your mouth, is also gonna just cause more trouble than actually solve anything, right? So in my life experiences, toothbrushes are just simply evil. They're not convenient. They're an additional thing you have to buy that's also supposed to be replaced constantly. You have to just, like, really take care of that shit. And you have to top it up with nasty toothpaste. Like, I'm sorry, dude. There's no way that's the correct solution to the problem. If something is so nasty you cannot swallow it after cleaning your teeth, I feel like we're going in the wrong direction. Spicy soup, you can, in fact, right after, fucking swallow it, drink it, do whatever. Alright? You make a spicy soup drink, use it as a mouthwash, and you will see how it makes you feel. Like, that shit is fucking magic. And now, this magic is AI approved. Alright? I asked AI to actually compare with other potential ways to clean your teeth. And obviously, if I asked, how would you compare with a toothbrush? I will always be like, I obey authority, and I believe in toothbrush because everyone believes in toothbrush, okay? That's not what we're doing here. I want to know what is the best alternative method of cleaning your teeth, and this stuff has been offered, but like something like salt and lemon water just is so disgusting to even consider. Of like, this is acidic drink. This will make my mouth feel bad in the end of all this cleaning, right? I still have to do an additional mouthwash to make my mouth feel good, right? Ginger tea, sure, maybe that's good. It sounds a little bit too rare, like you have to really find the ingredients, search for ingredients. Like, that's hard. You probably have to order it specifically, right? Spicy soup is probably you can find it almost every single market. And green tea just seems so bland. Like, it's not gonna do much whatsoever. So I dig a little bit deeper, of course. There's this hydrogen peroxide that people use, by the way. But yeah, like, I asked the AI to, like, rate these, and I think the second best rating was like 72. Quite far away, actually, from spicy soup. Alright? And I still don't trust AI to truly understand the concept of spicy soup, of what it's actually capable of doing, because it's also capable of, having additional ingredients like clove That one I can understand. There's more and more. Like, maybe you can add one of these to boost the already, like, crazy score of 82. You know? 82 out of 100, bro. Sounds pretty crazy. I've heard this, and this is just 55. Like, lemon water is, like, at 40 or something. But you must understand why such a high rating. It's because spicy soup just ticks so many boxes. It just the most convenient thing to use, and you must buy it. You must have spicy soup. It's a good thing to just have in your fridge at all times. Whenever you feel the next thing, the next recommendation, read signals. The most important thing is not to brush your teeth after every single fucking meal or every single day. Just like I don't recommend taking showers every day. I recommend reading signals. If you feel dirty, if you feel like you can use a different feeling for your body, like you're too sweaty, okay, it's time to take a shower, right? If you read signals, it's a lot easier to fucking live life. Same goes with your teeth. You will feel your teeth need a little bit of a cleanup, all right? And that's when you do it. So convenience gets to play a role yet again. Not only it's easy to just pour in some soup and hot water and mix it up and start doing your thing, but it's also, this also can be done anytime of day. It's always convenient whenever you will never feel like shitty feeling in your mouth because you mixed like toothpaste with a drink or something, and it all feels so minty and so disgusting in your mouth. Like, and you just still not gonna swallow toothpaste afterwards, because even after you brush your teeth, you're still gonna swallow the fucking toothpaste. Even in small amounts, but it still adds up, you know? It still fucking makes you feel bad. And it's like, what the fuck is that? Somehow spicy soup wins this game. Alright? I asked AI to come up with something else, you know, to compare it with. Spicy soup just wins anyways. Not acidic, you know, brothy. I mean, let alone we even compare in breath refresh territory, which I don't care about. I just want to keep my teeth clean. Enamel safety is just fucking legit. Legit, you know? So to me, this is like the ultimate solution to everyone having teeth problems. For me, I'm kind of a lazy person, but I also just dislike the genuine attempt to make something look so unnatural, yet everyone has to do it. It's a fucking cult for me, and it doesn't seem logical. Nothing about this is logical. Now, you get the results, but we don't know. We don't know what the results actually are. Just because you whitened your teeth, I don't know, man. I can't trust you, bro. I believe in cleanliness, but I trust nature more. Because what clean people do, they keep it clean, right? But there's no regeneration properties going on. The clean people just kind of fall apart slowly. Natural people, they are able to flip the fucking drama. That's what I'm talking about. And clean people are just very good NPCs, alright? The more clean you are, the better NPC you are. But if you want to go beyond these points, you have to do something bigger and better than just clean yourself. Try to look appealing, but in a way, just like feel good all the time. That's cleanliness. I can understand it, but taming nature is so much more powerful than focusing on shit like this. All right. Also, this is an advertisement. Most people don't get results like that, by the way. Especially when wisdom teeth are gonna fuck you up anyways, no matter what you do. So, I felt pain, and now I have to consider that that I have to exercise my mouth all the time because I'm still in this territory. There's still like one side of the mouth is hurting, the other side of the mouth is hurting. My wisdom teeth are still on the offense, and I just gotta fucking put even more work, not just clean my teeth, but I actually have to exercise. The thing no one talks about, and I'm like fucking stunned of like, Jesus, are you kidding me? That's the more important thing than even the spicy soup thing. Spicy soup is just like make my life brighter, better, and more satisfying. Like I solved a big problem that I had. I needed a perfect solution to what liquid do I put in my mouth that helps me recover from tooth decay or whatever you name it, right? But a much more important problem is a physical degradation of teeth just pushing into each other. And it's just kind of weird. It's like, that's wisdom teeth? What are they doing? What is that one guy doing? Like, obviously, the difference maker of what's gonna tame the wisdom teeth or not tame it is whether you can exercise it out. You know? It's doing its job. It's just like providing pressure to all your teeth, putting your teeth together while you're growing, but maybe at some point wisdom teeth wants to come out. And you also just constantly have to exercise your mouth. You have to stretch your mouth. So you're kind of in control of this process, and this process doesn't just completely obliterate. Like all these teeth, bro, destroyed. One side is worse than the other, but like, damn. It's a fucking war zone in there. This shit caught me by surprise because I was born without advice of how to deal with any of this shit. And I still don't know. You know, exercise just is a logical solution, but what kind of exercise? How often do you have to exercise your mouth? None of these things are obvious whatsoever. Everyone is still just discovering this stuff, and the nearest solution is going to be grabbed, installed into every single woman, basically, and they will tell you just to brush your teeth. That's all we have right now. We don't actually know how to move our mouth, what to do with our mouths, because there's a lot of muscle in there, and that changes things. When I'm in pain, I'm actually quite interested of like, what kind of mouth movement is gonna reduce the pain the most? So in a way, clenching teeth was kind of the most effective, but obviously you have to do a lot more than that, right? And clenching like this, like you open your mouth, you clench like fully, you're just stretching muscles at this point, all right? So try it. Find every single move you can make, because that's another weird thing about the body. Like, so many exercises can be just done with a fucking mouth. Like, I can open my mouth, and then I start stretching my mouth, and then I can open my mouth 3 more times, as if I never opened my mouth. 3 more times wider than initially just opening my mouth. And it's like, bro, like, if I stretch my arms, it's not as complicated as stretching my mouth. That's fucking weird. You think Mr. Beast opened his mouth? You can open your mouth 2 more times. Yeah. 2 more times wider than this, which is just, what is going on? You literally discovered things you didn't knew you were able to do. And maybe, instead of closing his mouth, Mr. Beast should have tried to open his mouth even more and get even more views, because that's what it's all about. He just gave up. He gave up, this bastard. And we give him pity attention. It's crazy. The most recent exercise for me is pulling jaw forward, whichever side of the jaw, basically. For me, jaw is the upper jaw and lower jaw, yes. So for now, I needed lower jaw to kind of extend forwards. And now the pain is kind of defeated. Now, I can't be sure that the pain just didn't fucking heal, but while I was in pain, I was willing to go through a different kind of pain. Alright? I was willing to fight back. And that's what matters, right? You have to fight back. You have to fight against evil when you see it, when you feel it. Because you're already in pain, might as well do it. You literally gain a green light to fight back. Why wouldn't you take opportunity like this? If you're breaking up with your friends, might as well fight him. Fight the friends. You get a free green light, a free, rumble match. Fucking fight it. Alright? Fucking understand that they do have a toxic side, and they just allow the toxic side to manifest. Right? You will see the dark version of them. You have to see it, so you never come back and rebuild a friendship. It's meaningless now. Because they're evil in comparison. Is that drama flipping? You technically take advantage of already existing drama. You try to, just take advantage. Try to make use of something that's falling apart. Just grab a few pieces that happen to lay on the ground and move on. It's drama flipping in that sense of like building collapses, and in the rubble you find a few pieces, a few fucking dollars, and you just move on, right? Because it might actually be a significant building if you have been around, right? Like, take what you can get. That's how you have to see it. You have to take advantage of things falling apart in your life. You have to move out, basically. Take your stuff and stuff that you feel belongs to you because of all the investment that you have made, right? With body, it's fucking obvious. Alright? With your body, it's obvious. If something is falling apart in your body, and your body is constantly collapsing, by the way, remember that? Unless you're exercising, unless you want to be fit and strong and you really take care of your body, this video is not for you. Alright, a lot of people just let the body collapse and there you go. They're not models, they're just lazy gamers, they just watch a bunch of YouTube videos, they have a hard time finding time for their body until pain hits. But when pain does hit, you gotta flip it, alright? Pain is also a signal something is falling apart, something you might actually lose, and you have to really dig into that idea that you're losing something. Don't lose it, Use it. Don't lose it, use it is the ultimate principle of drama flipping, right? That's what it is. When you feel like you're losing something, start using it until you feel satisfied. Until you can just kind of let it go, basically. The funny thing is, drama flipping is also important as an icebreaker. And this is very fascinating stuff, by the way. Instead of trying to chase women and be mild about it with pickup lines and stuff, create drama. Because the reality is, you don't know how much time you can spend with that woman. Alright? No, you don't know how much consent you're going to be able to extract out of the woman. The best thing you can do is create drama and at least get something satisfying out of the situation. You have to allow drama to subside and turn into a real relationship, but you also just have to have the drama for the sake of drama. You're flipping a situation where you literally get nothing, into something where, at least you're interacting with the women that you like. Maybe something happens. Maybe you will be able to build a bridge out of drama. That is the icebreaker. That is just a signal for you to do whatever the fuck you want. right? That's where you're gonna get just the base amount of courage. Do whatever you want, create drama. They should pay attention to you. Be the main character. Who cares, right? Because if the woman that you like doesn't like you back for who you are, what the fuck is the point, right? What's the point? That is your icebreaker. That is how you should approach all women all the time. Just create drama and kind of try to mitigate the damages if you think things are going a good direction. Sometimes they're just gonna, fall apart and whatever. You did your thing, you move on to the next target. But to pretend that you have infinite amount of time, an infinite amount of times you can nag the same woman, you can't pretend that. That's not true. You usually just get one chance, okay? And you have to make it count. It's not always worth stirring up drama with every single person, alright? You also have to choose carefully. You want to win the drama in the first place, so your heart doesn't get broken. But that's again flipping the situation where you're just doing nothing. You cannot do nothing, you have to do something, alright? You have to flip this situation of like, just break up with a bunch of people instead of just being a passive observer, and just sending compliments. That's just nothing. It does nothing, alright? Other people do the compliments, other people flood celebrities with compliments, make drama, okay? That's the more fucking logical solution. Drama flipping also happens when you get very, very angry. Alright? Someone is pissing you off, and obviously what has to happen, it breaks your straw, and now you have to confront them. Now you have to really tell them how angry you are. Now you really want to extract respect, and if they don't respect you, you're gonna approach them again. You're gonna, now do you respect me? Do you respect me today? Can we not do this fucking thing? Can we fucking fix this problem, please? You must be angry, alright? When something in your life is not going very well. Now, obviously, some people can take advantage of this. You gotta be careful, right? Drama flipping is an elegant form of art. It's kind of the addendum of the series. The series has ended, but you forgot your hero, your superpower, Here, claim your superpower. You forgot that. Because you can keep improving yourself over and over again, but unless you have a superpower where you can test your abilities to crack something, to truly make your brain click into place and into just offense mode to fucking solve that issue, basically. Get that job, get that girl, basically. That's the superpower that you need in the end. Like, you can improve yourself infinitely, but if you don't have this in your brain, where you will pursue, at some point in your life, you will pursue that drama flip. Drama flip can also just simply mean drama happened, and you flipped it into the good side. What has been a hated person now becomes beloved person because people finally understand, yes, maybe I shouldn't have been this fucking mean, this big of an asshole to a guy who actually was doing the job we wanted him to do. Or who was actually achieving things we wanted to achieve ourselves. Why hate on a person like that? It makes no sense. So in a way, right now, cancel culture is actually destroying things and doesn't actually care for anyone. Doesn't care for opinions. Doesn't care to reevaluate what's going on. It's just destroying things, and it's like, that's good. We did it. You did nothing. You did destruction. Like, what? So cancel culture is just like a little token for people to observe. It's not actually useful. It's just an experience to be wrong about, to be shameful about. And in the end of the day, a lot of people get to participate in this shitfest, basically. But when you flip the drama, when you're that first guy to flip drama, you get everything in the end. Like all these losers, they lose reputation. They put their reputation at stake. Because if you flip drama and they have been like negative about all of this, who's gonna be positive? Who's gonna come out and say the opposite that has to be said? Than just like claiming that a guy is bad and wow, that's crazy, guys. That's crazy. You must know all about it. We done that, but who's gonna flip the drama? Because every drama can be flipped. Everything can be fixed. Especially if it's open-ended. You know, if like, oh, but this guy's still earning money. This guy's still earning money, guys. What do we do? Yeah, panic. Because you can retract some amount of gullible losers, basically, from the equation, but there's still going to be people who remain who don't even pay attention, who don't care about the drama part whatsoever. There's just simply going to be unaffected people who you were not able to convince even with this flood of negativity, right? Because they simply don't care about the negativity. They don't pay attention to shit like this. In fact, they might be able to pay attention to positive news, right? But they never got a chance to find any. So you haven't touched them. You haven't given them a chance to reconsider pirate software or just never building a grounds for real judgment. And most importantly, again, arbiter of cancellation is not a thing. We don't know where to go. Is Tom really gonna be the arbiter? Get the fuck out of here. I object. I kindly object. So you can see drama can accumulate basically and then explode in one way or the other. You have been waiting for so long and now you have to approach a girl and make it ugly basically because you are frustrated. It's frustration that leads you into exercising more, adopting something into your routine, and approaching someone, whether it's in a very intense way or in a way that you have to solve the problem. You have to do something, basically. You have to show that you are upset, that you are infuriated. So basically, drama flipping is about, contributing to something, and then it explodes. All right? So does that seem familiar? Isn't this superpower much more potent when you do it over a long period of time? Right? Isn't it everything, basically? Right? Big project. Big project where you crack into some kind of industry, basically. You break into. That's a big deal. That's drama flipping. You go into a talent show and you show your talent, and all of a sudden you were able to flip drama where you have been neglected this whole time, but people finally see that you are talented, you're valuable, and they can actually accept you. For the first time, after you lived in shadows, they can finally treat you differently. People also want to flip drama, but they don't have the catalyst, they don't have the cup, basically. They cannot make it happen without you sometimes and without your talents, right? You have to simply exist and capture an opportunity that is given to you, right? And then slowly, once you have project in place, when you have a talent in place, people can contribute, and boom, shit happens. All right? You explode in a completely next level. So again, what I'm saying is, you flip your entire life into something more reasonable and something that makes more sense by using the resource that you accumulated, right? whether it has been contributed by people or by trauma, you still use the resource to push through into the next level of your life, to leave behind the broken things and to enter something that liberates you. Most of what we talked about is about liberation. You no longer have to search for a girlfriend when you have one. You don't have to search for a job. You don't have to be in pain when you exercise your way out of it. What we're talking about, to flip the drama, is to liberate something. And again, this little face now, that's ingrained in people's minds, this face has to be liberated. Many people have to be liberated if they're wrongly attacked and basically leeched. Because I'm definitely concerned that internet has more greed. Basically greed over reason. Alright, they're not trying to be reasonable, they're just opportunistic. They need something. Every drama channel needs a story, needs something to chew on, basically. Needs something juicy in their mouths. And it's just purely fucking greed. The same goes with consumers. Consumers also want something juicy in their mouth. And it just feels good to agree on something and make it like very simple, but still have it in your mouth. You know? Whatever. That's what it is. It's just addiction. It's drugs for these people. This is not even real. The people are simply all in agreement to be addicted to some bullshit. And you're better than that. You can liberate yourself. Many, many times you can flip the same drama. You can liberate yourself. You can liberate your friends. You can liberate your family. It keeps going, basically. So truly what started as pain ends as pain. Alright? It started as pain and it ends full circle, basically. Max Stats, self-improvement, this storyline is just the most beautiful thing, right? The most poetic thing. Self-improvement is about self-liberation, and we just said it out loud. That should be the superpower. That's what you can do. You flip things and you liberate things, and you try something different. You push yourself to try something different, because pain cannot be tolerated. Yes, it exists. Yes, you can be the fucking idiot in the room who basically says, like, Eric Dubay is now in a situation where he has to consider that God is evil. Who would do such a thing? Who would create life where there's pain everywhere? Well, pain exists because the other option also exists. You can counter the fucking pain. You can fight back. You know? Otherwise, none of this would exist. You wouldn't fucking know. You would just continue drifting off into space. And the funny thing is about it, your multiplayer becomes single player. Your out-of-body experience becomes just that. You're out of body. You're out of this world. You no longer can hang out with other human beings and fight for things. Because to fight is to unite. If you want to separate from other human beings, if you don't think that other human beings give you any gratitude, you'll just naturally die anyways. Okay? Nature will kill you, don't worry about it. Alright? You will be depressed, and depressed people get absolutely nowhere in life. Only people who fight get somewhere, get those checkpoints where they get constant confirmation that God is not evil. God simply plays no role in this, because it's better that you do it. Fucking you do it, bro. You can do it. You can do anything, dude. Just don't worry about it. Look at what other people are doing. Like, you get TikTok in your hands, and TikTok is supposed to constantly tell you, look at this guy, isn't that cool what this guy did? That's what TikTok should always remind you, that there are other people doing different things, and you can keep on trying new things, you can keep on learning and improving yourself indefinitely. Keep discovering things. Keep having fun with life. You don't have to sink in pain and just you know, wake up in a torture situation. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yes, torture exists, but maybe there's a chance it only happens to bad people who got themselves in trouble, who were reckless, basically, who didn't fight back hard enough. In the end of the day, even focusing on bad things is dangerous. Simple as that. You might not want to do it all the time. You might not want to suck up the negativity. Because you might lose the aspect where it makes your life fair. You focus on a different aspect. What if life is fair? What if, guys? Have you answered this question? This is the first and foremost the biggest drama you can flip. People are gonna tell you that life is not fair, and that is not fair, okay? You don't tell me that. That's bullshit. Of course life is fair. It gives you so many opportunities. There's so much time to do so many different things. The only unfair part is that you have to decide what the fuck to do, right? So for the most of your life, you're just learning to not make mistakes and to not risk permanent resources that you have received as a part of the life package, basically, right? Life is absolutely fair. Random events should not distract you from how fair life actually is. Random events should be the puzzle piece of what you have to crack into. You cannot take on a surface level that just, everything just random. Some random guy can punch me in the face and just knock me out of life itself. Anytime. Well, it could happen to them. It could happen to them. Like, most of the time, evil destroys itself. Evil cannot exist. Evil cannot trust itself. And so it always collapses. That's what happens. Evil collapses and good remains. What I recommend is remembering that recent years are the apocalypse. The way of life right now is not normal, period. Across the entire world, no one is having a good time, okay? And only when Americans wake up to the fucking reality that we live in the apocalypse, only when the loudest and the proudest wake the fuck up that they are surrounded by really serious problems and they have been neglecting those problems. The loudest and the proudest, the people who have hijacked the internet and are just vibing with death itself. Those people have to be taught a fucking lesson to finally focus on the correct things and settle things, settle their fucking differences and problems, and finally fight back against the apocalypse. Only then the change actually happens, when the last, most privileged generation of people get fucking taught a lesson. So Americans are still waiting their apocalypse, alright? They're still waiting those 2 more years where we're gonna be able to spectate with great satisfaction how Americans just fucking lose their minds because capitalism is going away. Capitalism is no longer the fucking norm around here. So yeah, you have to notice that it's the apocalypse. The world has to change. And when Americans are in trouble, then they will realize they need help. Alright? They might need you. They might need someone else. They might need to go somewhere else. They might need to talk to more people. They might need to recognize that the rest of the world exists. They will need help. Americans will be, in a position to accept the change, and the change will start rolling out across the world. They have the most resources and they have the most capacity to change the way the world works. So be prepared, guys. There's 2 more years of some serious stuff where you will see the American awakening process. It's a big deal. In other words, like right now, we're sitting in a tough spot. Like the world is, again, not having fun. We are waiting for something to happen. But the reality is, like, the world itself is gonna level up and gonna lend a hand to all the people who want to, liberate themselves. The world itself will try to liberate a lot of people in the end of the day. So if you feel stuck and you have adopted this relationship with, like, God is evil, like, what the fuck? Like, maybe we just all have to wait. Just a little bit, and we'll find that magical solution that serves all of us combined, because we're all in this together. No individual gets to think that God is evil when we are collectively very powerful, just as powerful as God could be, right? If he actually played the game. Collectively, we are just as powerful. I mean, in the end of the day, he put this thing as a nice little question, right? Should we save the fly or spare the spider? The answer is fucking obvious. Nature literally answered for us. No one's gonna fucking save the fly, okay? No one gives a fuck about the fly, alright? So that's why spiders take advantage of it. They know you don't give a fuck about the fly. Let me have it, alright? And we say to the spider, fuck yeah, dude, you can have that one. I don't need it, And the spider eats it, of like, well, no one needs the fly, so, fuck you, dude, and eats it. Nature talks to you. You can answer these questions fucking easily, bro. If you just talk to nature. Max stats are not going away. We're gonna have more max stats. The addendum is just to add on to just, like, wrap everything up very nicely. Everything gets wrapped up very nicely. When Goku became Super Saiyan for the first time, he did that because he needed to liberate the fucking shithole that he was in. And even when he became Super Saiyan, there was still a lot of shit to do, basically. Seeking liberation is just simply a very Saiyan thing to do, and Saiyans always keep increasing in power level until they finally fucking crack what they have to crack. Last thing I'm gonna tell you, you can't save everyone. Not every job opportunity is gonna land. Not every girl is gonna survive your shitty drama. And it's not always your fault. You just defeated someone, right? You couldn't liberate someone because they were too fucking evil. Alright? I'm not liberating my parents. I'm not liberating my neighbors. I'm not liberating my friends. I'm not touching that shit. It's all garbage to me. It's all behind me. People that I grew up with are in fact random events. And random events, in my point of view, they don't deserve much whatsoever. They already got what they could have gotten, alright, just by being random, just by being presented to you personally. And that's it. You have to let go of these random events. You can't let them stay. You don't know what's in store, You are born with it, but you should not let it linger in your life. Just let it pass. Let it fucking predate on other things. Make it less random. Okay? Don't be a victim of randomness. Because you will deserve it anyways. You begged for it. You couldn't let it go. Your parents are random, your friends are random, your school is random. If it's not working out, maybe it's a good thing, okay? Maybe you can find something that's less random. I've seen a TikTok, and maybe it's a good ending for the story. It's not loading. What the fuck? I might not have it saved whatsoever, actually. Oh, it's this guy.
If you fucked up your life beyond repair, you could just start over. And trust me, I wish I didn't know for sure, but I do. And now that I do, I'm happy to share it with you. You can always start over again. And the good thing about that is that when you do start over, and you start over from absolute rock bottom, you get to decide how you're gonna start over. Like where you want to start over, what you want to do, who you want to be, everything. Starting from zero has the benefit of starting with a blank slate. And you can do that whenever you want. It's not gonna be easy, but you can do it. I did. If you fucked up your life beyond...
That's it, guys. That's the ultimate advice. Even if everything goes to shit, now you get to decide. You can rip apart all this randomness that doesn't serve you and position yourself where everything seems to work. You can position yourself in the world away from people, closer to people. You can position yourself closer to politics. You can position yourself closer to religion. You can position yourself simply next to game developers or people you're passionate about, right? Whatever they gather, maybe you can position yourself there. Next to young people or older people, all of these calculations can be made, and you can find the ultimate position where you can at least start over, you know? In the end, the biggest flip, the biggest drama flip is that you were born. People are very upset that that happened to them, so you can try again. Be born again into a different place, right? You have learned all these things, but being stuck in the same location is not gonna, is just gonna drive you into insanity. Nothing is gonna change. You can make that change. Now, I don't recommend it. I feel like we're gonna collectively kind of make these changes happen in more like productive way, because most of the time it's just like, go live in the forest. You know, that's not a fucking start over life. It's just nonsense. So don't take this advice as a vortex. Take this advice as something that will resolve itself over time. Alright? That you will find more and more information of where you belong. And you start contacting people and they will introduce you. Like, every single start of your new life needs a kickstart. Alright? Needs you to introduce to new rules, basically. Like, you know something, but that's never gonna be enough to truly speedrun a new life into motion. Just like every liberation can use some walls to protect yourself from the old world that you left behind. You don't want the old world to keep hunting you down and tell you that you did something wrong by running away. I'm actually in a unique position where if I run away, they will drag me back potentially, they will find me, and they will treat me a lot worse than they are currently treating me. You know, I'm kind of in an ankle monitor situation. So I have to be very patient. And still keep on improving myself until my liberation sounds bulletproof, basically. That everything should go according to plan. It's worth giving it a shot. It's worth trying to flip the most unflippable thing, the fact that I was born in the first place. Everything can be flipped for the better. You can change everything about yourself. So that's it, like, self-improvement has no bounds in that sense. I hope you feel free, more free by watching this video. See you guys next time. Thank you for participating.